I'm going to be discussing a subject today that hits very close to home for me. It's a major factor in many dive-related accidents, and I'm going to show you the 5 ways that I avoid this particular thing while diving. All right, let's get started. I just finished 2.5 hours total time underwater. My last dive was 48 minutes. The viz was amazing. Getting out of the water, I was talking to my buddy Don, and he said, "You got your weekly fix, didn't you?" Whenever I get out of the water, I feel accomplished. I just feel peaceful. I went down today and we were diving the sump. And while I was down there, I remembered a situation that happened. A lot of you may remember the video that I first posted on this channel was one of myself panicking and just forgetting everything that I was taught. I want to talk to you about panic. Before the dive, we talked about our dive plan. My buddy decided that when we dropped down to the sump, he's going to sit above the cloud, and I was going to go into the cloud, touch the bottom basically, and come back up. We both had quite a bit of decompression obligation. We gave the okay signal with our lights, and I dropped down. Stayed down there for a minute, 2 minutes maybe. I remember turning to my right, and I felt a snag, and there's only one thing you could get stuck on down there, and that is a rope that's attached to a buoy at the top. It is hooked onto a 4x4 post at the bottom, which is attached to a concrete block. We sunk it there, I don't know, a year or 2 years ago. So I actually put that down there. So I knew very well what I was dealing with. I knew how thick that rope is. If I had to cut through it, it was not going to be easy. First thing that I did, I signaled to my buddy, "There's a problem." I'm looking at his light. I can see it through the cloud. I'm signaling there's a problem. He does not seem to recognize. As I was hooked up on this rope, I was watching my TTS, my time to surface, going up. I need to get out of this situation quick, but at the same time, I need to stay calm. So I paused, felt for the rope. Sure enough, it was on my 40 cubic foot tank, which is on my side. I stopped again, signaled again. I didn't know if he saw me or not, but I started thinking to myself, I got to get out of this. A couple years ago, my reaction would have been to panic. And the fact that I'm on a rebreather makes things a little bit worse, because if you overwork a rebreather, overbreathe it, it could be dangerous. You are scrubbing out CO2 from your breath. Your scrubber can get overloaded, if you will. But we were at the end of our dive. I'm pretty deep. It's cold. In that second, I remember, instead of panicking, I stopped what I'm doing. I assess the situation. But before I even do that, I say to myself, "Steve, you got this. Don't panic." I get my breathing under control, because here's the thing. I'm not going to start working on stuff when I'm hyperventilating, when I'm breathing too heavy. It will kill you, especially on a rebreather, because the next thing you know, you're bailing out or something's going wrong. Here's the problem. I was still hooked up on that rope. I assessed the situation. I signaled my buddy one more time. I did see his light getting a little bit closer. I knew that at least he saw me. I reached down and I disconnected my 40 on the bottom bolt snap. I kind of Supermaned it and it came loose. I was very relieved. Clipped everything back, got myself under control again. We finished the dive. I really didn't even talk about it. I just kind of forgot about it, to be honest with you, until today. I was down there again, and it just all kind of came back. What do we do when we panic? Stop what you're doing. You're only going to make matters worse. Assess the situation. Talk yourself through it if you have to. Do what I did. Just tell yourself, don't panic, you got this. Get your buddy to you as soon as possible. Hopefully you're diving with somebody that could help you out. It's better to have 2 people on the situation. Then when you have a plan, it's time to take action and get yourself out of that bad situation. Hopefully this is a help for you. Stay tuned, because I'm going to show you the footage from today. You're not going to want to miss it. Did not think I was going to need a shovel this morning. I would have brought one. But just improvising here, using my feet, trying to scrape off the ice and snow so I don't fall on my backside.
Another one of those days where I had to get in the car before I got my stuff off because I'm just so stinking cold.
I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Honestly, you're probably not going to enjoy it as much as I did because I was the one that was actually in the water. That means you need to get your fins on and get yourself in the water wherever you are. Comment below, where are you diving this weekend? Hopefully it's a little bit warmer than where I'm diving today. By the way, if you'd like to watch more videos, here's 2 that I picked for you. All right, you dive safe, and I'll see you in the water.